Hi everybody, Mo Bedard here with KnightsTemplar.tv. I wanted to take a minute and talk about DNA and try to lighten it up a little bit. I know I can seem serious and so forth, but to me this is kind of a serious subject. But I want to try to make you understand or help you understand my theory, because again, this is somewhat of a new theory out there. There's not a lot of people talking about this. I found a couple people out there that have great theories. I want to network with them. But basically this is it. We all have various different kinds of DNA, and we are all members of different haplogroups. Some of us might be the members of same haplogroups, whether that be on our mother's or our father's side, or a combo of both. My theory is this: if you out there believe in souls, that we are reincarnated back into this universe, that the cycle of time, the golden thread of life, that we reincarnate into these same bloodlines, the same DNA. And my theory here is really simple, because this would, you know, tie to just about any animal in the animal kingdom, and I don't think we should consider ourselves any different. The only difference, of course, is that we've been bred and hybrid amongst each other, where our computers are screwed up, and that's kind of my theory that I want to get into it a little bit later. But basically, when we reincarnate into this world and we plug back into our DNA, the whole goal of nature is that for you to remember and you to evolve based on your DNA and your race. And what happens when you mix the races and you reincarnate, whether that be, you know, 10 years, 100 years, 500 years, or whatever that may be, you are somewhat confused and you don't know thyself. It's harder now these days, I believe, for people to get in touch with themselves and to know themselves. A lot of people are confused, and you can see that everywhere in society today, and I believe that has to do with all the different hybrids of people, and they are kind of confused. And I also believe that DNA plays a role in marriage and mating, where people that are marrying DNA types that were tribes that may have been warring in the past for several thousands of years, different races, and they're not really aware of this, and they get into a marriage that this plays a factor in conflict and divorce. And it's basically just the DNA that we've messed it up, and when we reincarnate into our soul, into this DNA, our wires are messed up and it's harder to know thyself. The less mixed your DNA is from the original root source over the last, 1,000 years, 2,000, 3,000, of course all of us are mixed hybrids. I'm part Ethiopian on my father's side, and then I'm also on my mother's side Celtic European, and that's a different mix of races right there. My understanding on father's side, the Ethiopian, was the result of the biblical Moses marrying with a Cushite queen, and then having children, and then that would produce the Ethiopians, and those would be the children of Moses. But again, this is something that's not proven. You'll see all kinds of theories on the internet and so forth. But where I get my theory there on my DNA, I knew a lot before I actually knew my DNA, and I knew about that we had something to do with the brotherhood and starting it and so forth. And my understanding is that Moses and his family had started this brotherhood, the secret societies, the Order of the Quest. And of course, over time, various tribes, families, countries were brought into the Order of the Quest. And that's basically it. And your DNA is going to determine your truths. A lot of us aren't going to agree with one another, and sometimes that will be a mixture of our DNA and, of course, how we're brought up, our face, our education, stuff like that. But our DNA definitely plays a part in that, in knowing thyself. And the less mixed your DNA, the easier it is to know thyself. The more mixed it is, I believe, the harder it is to know thyself and to trace your history and go back over time, thousands of years of all your ancestors and so forth. and it makes finding the truth a little bit harder and so forth. And I believe this is also by design, that the powers that be, whoever they may be, have done this by design, so we don't know who we are or where we come from. And that's easier to control us. The more mixed our DNA is, we don't know where to go home. We're less apt to be in conflict. We're less apt to be loyal to one specific blood group or family, because we're mixed of all different types of families. So of course we're not going to be loyal just to one family. And that goes for a lot of us out there that are even of different colors, skin colors, because I found skin color doesn't determine your race, because I'm Ethiopian on my father's side and I'm white, and there's a lot of people out there that have the same haplogroup that are brown and different colors and so forth. So anyways, that's my theory on the DNA computer. Our souls plug into it when we reincarnate and use it to evolve and to remember and to know thyself. And that's basically it. I'm going to come out with some more videos to make it maybe more simple, but it's pretty simple. Thanks, have a great one.